But we're going to look at what Jesus said and what Jesus said about predicting. Matthew chapter 24. Matthew 24, I'm not going to read the whole thing, we're going to read parts of it, and we're going to see what the Bible tells us about the predictions of when Christ is coming back. Can we know when the world is going to end? Can we calculate it to the second? And can we change that calculation when we're proved wrong? Maybe. According to Harold Camping, the 21st at 6 o'clock p.m. is the end of the world. And from what I understand, Harold Camping is saying that Jesus is a respecter of time zones.
You guys know 1 and 10?
Yes, so watch
England.
Watch Europe and see what happens on May 21st. Anyway. Yeah, wow. And sad. What's sad about this? What's sad about this is in places all over the world there's these billboards. All over the world. My friend Brian just came back from a mission trip in Haiti. We all know what happened in Haiti. We all know the religious, or we've heard about the religious pulse that's in Haiti. They're not in good places. Spiritually, religiously, economically, ecumenically, whatever. They're not in good places. And there's a sign that says, oh yeah, the end of the world's coming. The Bible guarantees it. Judgment Day, May 21st. I'm not saying that that's healthy. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. Not exactly. But I'm saying, is it healthy? And what does it do? Anyway, let's read a little bit out of the scriptures. See what God has to say about it. Starting with verse 4. And Jesus answered and said to them, see it to it that no one misleads you. For many will come in my day, in my name, saying, I am he, Christ, and will mislead many. I'm reading out of the New American Standard if anybody wants to know. And you will be hearing of wars and rumors of wars. See to it that you are not frightened. For those things must take place, but that is not the end. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. In various places there will be famines and earthquakes. But does that sound familiar? Are there famines? Mm-hmm. Are there earthquakes? Are there wars? Have you heard a rumor of a war? Are nations rising up against nations now? Mm-hmm. What's the other one? Are people coming and saying that they are the Messiah, they are the Christ? Yeah. Is that happening now? David Koresh, even newer, more recent than that. Ever heard of that guy? The Branch Davidians. They got together when I was in high school. Wow. Many, many moons ago. They were encamped in this area because this guy says, I am the Christ, follow me. I am Jesus. And, well, the ATF people got problems with them. Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms folks got a little upset with them because they were hoarding weapons and hoarding people. And next thing you know, it ended in a fiery confrontation. And as far as we know, Dave Koresh and his followers all passed away, except for the ones that may have gotten out of there. But this is happening. And Jesus is saying, this is earthquakes, famines, wars, rumors of wars. Is that anything new? No. It happens. It's been happening since the world began. Since, one guy moved, somebody moved next to Adam in the garden. Since Cain and Abel shared the same altar, there have been wars and rumors of wars. There have been people fighting against people, brother against brother, nation against nation, nations within themselves fighting. So yeah, but verse 8, and there have been earthquakes and famines. That's life, that's the world. But all these things are merely the beginnings of birth pains. Verse 9, they will deliver you to tribulation and will kill you, and you will be hated by nations on account of my name. And at that time many will fall away and deliver up one another and hate one another. And many false prophets will arise and will mislead many. Harold Camping. And because lawlessness is increased, most people's love will grow cold, but the one who endures to the end, he shall be saved. Look in there, Jesus is giving us symbols of what our lives are going to be like. He's showing us how life is, not necessarily in the end times, but now. People are going to hate you because you're a Christian. They're going to hate you. They will deliver you to tribulation and will kill you, and you will be hated by all nations on account of my name. Is that happening today? People in other countries, we got it easy here in America. We got it too easy here in America sometimes. But there are people in other nations that are afraid to come to admit that they become a Christian because their mother and father will drag them out on the street and kill them. Their family. So they will hate them because of my name. False prophets will arise. You've seen those. Doesn't look very hopeful, does it? Is Christ coming back? Well, let's jump down to verse 23. There's a lot of stuff in there I'm going to skip, but we'll probably hit those later on in the service, in the series, and in the summer. We got a lot more time. Verse 23 says, "Then if anyone says to you, 'Behold, here is the Christ,' or 'There he is,' do not believe him. For false Christs and false prophets will arise and will show great signs and wonders, so as to mislead, if possible, even the elect. Behold, I have told you this in advance. If therefore they say to you, 'Behold, he is in the wilderness,' do not go forth. Or 'Behold, he is in the inner rooms,' do not believe them. For just as the lightning comes from the east and flashes even to the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be."